Examples was that when somebody on your panel, Lord, stated that a fucking 1 year old, dog, that a 1 year old boy was fucking aggressive. What? What? A 1 year, like, first of all 1 year old is a fucking aggressive. They will hit the shit out your ass. Like, they 1 year old. But they'd be like, oh, the boy was aggressive. That language is like, if you think that, like, oh, because he's a boy, he acts like this, how do you think that bias going to impact your interaction with him? Now, if he sit down and crying, you're going to be like, well, that's what you get. Instead of going on and be like, oh, let me comfort you. Oh, he just being aggressive. That's how they are. You gotta be careful with these boys. Blah blah blah. Like that type of bias is going to impact the way you interact with them. Like I would talk shit about these men all fucking day, but y'all need to demonize children. Show full fucking character. I'm just gonna be honest with you because yeah, a man who had a whole lifetime, and I don't give a fuck if his issues, and a lot of times are rooted in childhood. A lot of our issues are rooted in childhood. By the time he become a man, I don't give a fuck what the problem that led up to it. He's still a problem, right? And I can't fix him. I need to watch the fuck out. But what I'm not gonna do is sit here and demonize fucking children. Y'all don't understand the difference between a child and a fucking adult, and that's the problem. You feel some type of way about men, and you projecting that onto a 1 year old child. Or like I was mentioning that woman who came up here and said she had twins, and she knows the difference between her son and her daughter. Or the problem I was saying to her was that you fail to realize that your view of your son and your daughter is different.
And it definitely is a difference of a view. Um, I for sure can see that. I think that when we hear people saying boys will be boys, and excusing certain behavior, and it affects the way they treat the boys. I think that we don't realize how everybody is playing into that, right? It's not even just the parents, it's everyone plays into these certain stereotypes that they believe that boys and men are supposed to have. Um and I think that when men talk about it, they don't realize that it's your teacher, it's your coach, it's the person that's cutting your hair, it's other influences, other people. They are negating while you're being coddled and you're being baby, you're also being dehumanized. And I do not think that's recognized, right? In the same way that women may be there may be this idea that you don't hit your little, like fathers don't hit their little girls. That may be a thing where fathers might think they need to hit their boys, but they're still dehumanizing, still not being able to see this child as a human, see this child as an individual, no matter how.
Hold on, real quick.
Problem.
Tanisha, what the fuck is you talking about?
Hold on, I gotta go on mute real quick too.
This is a stock photo. What the fuck is you talking about, Tanisha? Um, what girl was you talking about? Do you know what a stock photo is? The fuck? That's weird. Um, if somebody in here, kid, girl, shut the fuck up. Shut the hell up. Anyways, I was just talking about that. Um, loud and wrong. So, all right. I don't know where Mia went at. I don't know who the fuck Misha is. I want you to look, see it right here in the upper left hand corner. This is Canva and these are stock photos. So if whoever the fuck Misha is, if that's Misha's kids, then she sold her picture to Canva. And don't come over here saying no bullshit like that. I don't know who the fuck you are, but you a fucking weirdo. Yeah. Yeah, it's whatever. People just be saying that's a bot. I don't know where the fuck Mia, you there? I'm about to block this bitch. I'm about to meet your kids. That's crazy. Um, you pissing me off. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
My bad, Tara. I had to take a phone call. But what the hell was she talking about? I missed it. I couldn't hear shit.
I got Misha Kids on the background. She weird.
Oh, she just making up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Look, lady. Let's focus on what the topic is. Cause Misha, if these is Misha kids, then she put them on the internet for them to be stock photos. Anywho, but what I was gonna say. So I had sent you a video. I know, Tara, I know. But I had sent you a video, and I don't know if you got it because I send you a video every second. But it was of these men having like man conversation about their mother wound. You saw it?
Yeah. I watch everything y'all sending me.
You are so kind.
What?
But and y'all tap the screen, share the live, engage, gift, do whatever, comment, all that stuff. But anyway, so when I saw the that video and I read a couple comments, but the first thing I thought of before I went to the comments was there is a disconnect with men and how they feel towards other people, right? They don't have any empathy towards anybody. Now, he was saying that he was a 14-year-old child, but you have to understand, right? You have to know that for a 14-year-old child, I don't believe, first of all, let me preface this with this. Tara, I don't believe none of that nigga. I don't believe them crocodile tears. I don't believe none of that motherfucker was talking about he's a loser. I guarantee you he's a fucking loser. All that was fake. I want to be very clear. Manipulation at its finest. But go ahead.
Because what he said was selfish.
Right. That's why I'm about to.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm saying men are socialized to have no empathy, to only think about themselves. And I can bet you money that the role that him and his sister had with that mom is problematic. I can guarantee you that mom probably was a traditional boy mom, not in the sense that she was like obsessed with him, maybe, but believing
that's not fair either, though. That's not fair either, because here's the thing. Because remember, when it comes to these roles, they're complex. They're not just learned in a household. You can be open-minded. You can like literally be like try to like level the playing field between your daughter and your son, and then they got in the world and it's reinforced in a different way. So like that's not. And then they got in the world and it's reinforced in a different way. So like that's not fair, because like ultimately when it comes down to you blaming a woman for like,
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying based on his age, that she could be typical in the roles that boys play. That's it. Not that she was those obsessive babying and coddling him, but maybe his chores was taking out the trash and the girls was doing dishes. Like, I'm saying just simple things that we're as women are socialized to believe too. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee. I'm saying it's possible that she could have been a typical, oh, my boy do this, my girl do that, have those type of roles, right? Because I get what you're saying, that it could be a problem that she could have been open, but we don't have much to go off of. So I'm saying we don't have much to go off of. So I'm saying we gotta assume, the easiest assumption is that she bought into how we're socialized about boys too. That boys take out the trash, girls do that. That's what I'm saying. So go ahead.
Now I was just gonna say, like, because I can say that for me, like I I tend to be a little. I'm like I recognize that I come across cold. Like sometimes I can be very cold. I'm not like overly like. It's a lot of ways I had to teach myself to be more nurturing because either I was taught that was a bad thing. And like when it came to my son, I might have been more harsh to him because and like when it came to my son, I might have been more harsh to him because of my beliefs about boys in a way that his father was way more nurturing towards him. You know what I'm saying? And also remember I said your employment impacted too. That's when my son was young and I first started teaching, like that's gonna impact the way I come home and I interact with my own child. Like, and the thing is, we don't know. Again, it be fucking subtle, Mia. Like when we learn about that study with the white teacher looking at the kids' behavior and she supposed to be clocking behavior and they fucking tracking her eyes. Her eyes are saying like, oh, I'm looking over there more often. I'm in your face more often. And I'm calling shit out more often because we having these negative experiences. Now you view yourself a certain way. This shit be fucking subtle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes it's hard to recognize what you do because you're also, as a parent, as a mother, you're also conditioned, right? So that's what my point is. Like, it's just very difficult to tell. It's very difficult to stop certain things when you don't know that you're even doing it. So, Lord have mercy.
And that's what I always say when it comes to children, the first thing you have to do is reparent yourself. But that can take time. While you reparenting yourself, your children are still growing. And like if we understand that the system was made to break us and that we're essentially already broken and our job is to break our children and we need to stand the fuck back and get the fuck out the way. I think standing out the way it helped my child way more than me being in his fucking face on what he should be doing. Because like it's like that I think and that may be something I need to talk about a little bit more because there are a lot of people who think that, oh, you know, this is just how men are, ain't nothing you could do about it. So when they boys, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, there are a lot of ways that you can like stop this process. Like, there's a lot of ways you can intervene. Cause like, I think East was saying yesterday about how like, basically talking about how boys dehumanize the mother, and it's like you become an appliance. And I know for a fact my son don't think I'm an appliance. Matter of fact, one day we was talking and he said something that I had said like months earlier, and I'm like, where did you hear that from? He like, you told me. I said, you remember that? In my mind, like this might sound fucking crazy to y'all. I was shocked that he was listening to me. I was so used to not being heard and people ignoring what I say. The fact that he was like listening to when I thought he had checked out was fucking mind blowing to me. And there's certain questions you can ask your child, and it's like, hold up, when that question that went viral before, like, what do you appreciate about me as your mother? Yeah, if your child sound like these men and they're like all this servitude shit, then yeah, some intervention that need to be applied. But if your child said, oh, I like this about your personality, I like that, like we got this in common, like that's when they start seeing you as a person. And the thing is, the problem is, and this happened to children with their mothers and their fathers, that children put their parents on a pedestal. And you got to take yourself off the fucking pedestal. You got to admit when you made a mistake. Don't be trying to be seen as the authority, because once you are seen as the authority, then you can't fuck up. You have to know everything right. No, I'm wrong sometimes and you're right sometimes. You by trying to like disrupt the power dynamic, you humanize yourself. Like if your child is afraid to tell you you're wrong, or they won't tell you you're wrong because they're so conditioned to be afraid of your reaction to it, yeah, that's gonna make them think, oh, you're like holier than thou, essentially, and they gotta put you on a fucking pedestal. But if you always point out what I'm doing wrong, then don't let me catch what you doing wrong, because then, oh, of course, you're not as good as you say you are. And that's a reaction to the way we're conditioned to parent children. I'm supposed to be the authority and you the subordinate. That's a fucking problem. But if you want to avoid some of these things, you have to, in the very beginning, even the fucking playing field.
And I think that's always a very crucial part of it is being able to like I think as parents and what more parents need to learn is the same concept that we have about just us as individuals unpacking certain socializing or conditioning. Is that, like you said, you can be wrong. Your child should be able to confront you. You can set boundaries. I think people don't understand. You need to set boundaries with anybody. Tara, you don't have to. I have a right to confront you if you cross a line or a boundary with me. But that don't mean that I can disrespect you. Your boundary could be, yes, Mia, you could come to me and address me about something, but I'm not gonna sit here and let you call me a stupid bitch. Like, that can be your boundary, right? And I think that's the same concept with your children. You don't know what you're doing, and you don't know what your child needs. Even if you're a parent of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it doesn't matter. Each child needs something different. So if your child comes to you and say, hey, I remember blah, 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 and that bothered me, blah, 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 why can't you listen to it, right? I know this with my parents and older people. You can't tell the older people. You can't tell them. They want you to say, "Oh, that's old." No, it's not old, bitch. No, it ain't old. It's not old. That shit bothered me, and I now I have the language, and I'm telling you about it. It's old to you because you want it to be out of sight, out of mind, but it's not. And I think that we have to be able to say, "Hold on." I think I'm doing my best. I think I'm a great parent. I think I'm amazing. I'm all these things. But you got to leave room for your child 10, 15, 20 years from now to say, wait, when I was 10 and you yelled at me that day in the kitchen, that bothered me. And you like, in it, I yelled at you, but what about all the Disney tricks? And what about this? No, no, no. I'm telling you, when you yelled at me in front of my friends that day in the kitchen, that shit hurt me. It bothered me, etc. Or when you used to whoop me, that was bothering me. So I do think that we need to not put ourselves in this position to where, like, I think that we need to not put ourselves in this position to where, like, we like that we did our best and that's it. We did our best and that is what it is, right? So I agree with you.
Yeah, I think, and I think like just being a good person, amazing parent, and all this shit be our downfall, right? When I was a teacher, the thing that made me a better educator was to admit that I was a fucking shitty teacher. My first year, a couple years of teaching, like I was real vocal about shit. I'm learning. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I got imposter syndrome. And like even when I became a veteran teacher and I would talk to other people, they're like, oh, you do this, whatever. I'm like, shit. When I first started, I had to accept that I was shitty at this. I had to accept that I'm shitty at it. That way when somebody give me feedback, I can humble myself. When I do something, I'm like, okay, let me go back and learn how to deal with the situation instead of blaming fucking children for an environment that I'm supposed to be in control of. So like, yeah, you have to like allow like your child to like speak up because like they even when I say even the playing field, one of the things I have to acknowledge that it will never be equal because my child's survival is tied to me. Like they're going to contort themselves the way they need to because they gotta fucking survive. So like if your child lie all the fucking time, it's not because they're a liar. It's because they had to learn how to lie to survive in that environment. And when I say survive, it's not always they like a life or death situation. It's their ego. Like it's like I have to become a person and to defend myself as a person, this is the way I'm going to navigate the situation. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of ways that's influenced, but I think like the narcissism within us, like if we have this inability to see like, oh, I'm doing anything fucking wrong. You gotta humble the fuck out of yourself. Don't say you a great parent. Say you a shitty fucking parent. You don't know what the fuck you doing. One thing about me when my son was younger, I told family and friends and all that shit, don't give me parenting advice. I'm not gonna listen to shit you gotta say. Like I had this argument with a family member, like, oh, but y'all turned out okay. No, I did not, and I'm accept that I did not turn out okay, and I got a lot of fucking problems. So if I can't go read a bunch of fucking multiple fucking sources, fucking longitudinal studies with fucking metadata analysis to say that okay, this thing makes sense, I'm not gonna fucking do it. I'm not gonna take your little shitty advice, and you getting in your feelings about it is fucking crazy because there's a lot of ways. Like if I'm a black woman and we start talking about epigenetics and how my genetic makeup has been altered because of shit like slavery. When I go down the fucking timeline, don't sit here and say you got all the fucking answers. Like, what are you talking about? And I think that be the problem. People don't want to be like, they want to just be great parents. They want to be perfect. No, We are all shitty fucking parents trying to learn to do better.
They don't want to be great parents to the child, though. Let's be clear. They want to be great parents to other grown motherfuckers. Like, they want the approval of other grown adults. They don't care if the child thinks they're great. They want to be able to, because if you think about the things that they say are things that other grown people would understand. You got to think about it. Experience is what shapes you, right? A child don't know what it's going to be like. A 10-year-old don't know how stuff is going to be for them 20 years later when they have a 2-year-old. You get what I'm saying? All they know is at right now how they feel. So if you saying that you brought them to Disney, but you ignored them in the kitchen, you ignored them when they was trying to tell you something, you ignored them when this happened, you ignored them when that happened, and while you was on the Disney trip, you cursed them the fuck out. While he was on the Disney trip, they got a whooping. While you was on the Disney trip, you took they tablet. If you don't want to recognize all of that, and you just thinking, when I tell other grown people, look at all what I did for my child, I buy them their clothes, I keep them in the best stuff, I'm always bringing them somewhere. We went to Disney, we went to the beach. That shit that you can say to grown people who understand the finances or understand the time or understand what it took, they believe they understand it. If you're healthy with the child and you do certain things with that child, you listen to that child, and the only thing that you can afford to do is take them to, like in the area I come from, the closest beach that we have, the closest waterfront that we have is something called the Lakeview, which is the Mississippi River, dirty ass water and weird ass sand things. And the next closest is Biloxi or Gulfport, Mississippi, which is dirty water too. Kids will accept and enjoy those moments over you taking them to Disney and slapping the fuck out of them. I promise you. I can guarantee you. But I don't think parents understand that because they're trying to impress other grown people. And I also think that a lot of times as parents, they be lying, Tara. They lie. Parents lie. They make up stuff about their own kids. They lie on their children to justify things they do. You know how, Tara, you know how diabolical it is to lie on your fucking child to justify your shit? Sickening.
Yeah, like what one of the things, like, one of the things I'll say is like, hey y'all, stop hitting y'all goddamn kids, right? And a lot of people been having that conversation about, it's so, like, parenting is so much more complex than that. We can't get past stop fucking putting your hands on your kids, right? But it's like, it's other things you're not supposed to do too, like yelling. I struggle with yelling, and I had to unlearn that. It's sometimes like with yelling, and I had to unlearn that. It's sometimes like I'm not really yelling now, but like there was a time when I fucking yelled, and I shouldn't have been yelling, and I could easily be like, well, shit, I don't put my hands on you, so whatever. No, the yelling is fucking traumatic. And I'm not yelling at you because you did something wrong. I'm yelling at you because I got fucking anxiety and I need to get my fucking anxiety in check. It's like, it is crazy to blame your child on your reactions, to blame other people on your reactions. Like, you're going to feel the way you feel because of your perception and your experiences. But a lot of times when motherfuckers like, oh, this person made me do, people don't make you do anything. Shit be fucking triggering you because two people are not going to respond exactly the same to the same fucking situation. So yeah, you learn on your child because the child's goal is to develop their own sense of self as a person. And if you got all these fucking issues, you're trying to determine who you are. You're sacrificing your own childhood identity for yours. Like, I'm going to put you down and you got to follow in order because I'm still childlike in my mind. And I need to exert who I am as a person, even if it's to your detriment. Because why the fuck can't you humble yourself for this child who need to develop their own sense of autonomy? Why the fuck can't you, like, you a grown ass motherfucker. You've been on this planet for decades. That child ain't been here for no time. And here you go trying to talk over and whatever. Like, and that's the reparenting. We got to understand that a lot of us are fucking delayed. We're fucking delayed.
For sure. Delayed is an understatement here. I also think that I think it's more insidious sometimes here. I was just thinking when you were talking, I was thinking about, remember I told you that in my class one time, the guys were bragging about abusing women, and they was like get bouncing off each other, getting a thrill out of it. But that was in the anger management class. But in my parenting class, the same thing happened when they were talking about the children, right? And like their willingness to, physically, harm their children. And also women, I've heard women in other settings, colleagues of mine, friends of mine, family. I grew up with women who got a kick out of whooping a child ass, right? My grandmother, in particular, because my mama didn't really put her hands on us, and my father never did. But my sister did. My sister, 20 years older than me, she bragged about spanking children. But it's a co-ed thing with that. And when I think about it, and why I say it's insidious is because, Tara, they got excited about being able to whoop a child. Like, you know how crazy that is? Like, it was excitement.
And that's Dr. Joy DeGrasse talk about that in post-traumatic slave syndrome. How like these behaviors are passed down. The reason why we say beat kids, what other people say spank, is literally tied to fucking slavery. And it's like the reason why you get so excited about whooping your fucking kids is because you got all this repressed emotion and you love displacing your anger on your fucking child. Like the child end up being a scapegoat for your fucking internal problems. That's the fucking problem. The thing is, we say one of the determinants for a fucking psychopath is if we see a child harming defenseless animals. If you see a child harming defenseless animals, it's an indicator that child could have some type of some issue with like psychopathy, right? If you're a grown ass adult putting your hands on a child who cannot defend themselves, y'all be bragging about the fact that you can control a 4-year-old whose survival is based on you, right? You're bragging about that. How is that any different than you eventually taking advantage of a situation? That's a psychopath. That's a fucking psychopath. That child is fucking terrified. That child would cry if that crayon broke. And now you in their face yelling and shit like you fucking doing something to a child that can't do nothing about it. That's not a flex. You're a fucking bully. And the way it's celebrated is fucking crazy. One other thing I say about that, I was talking to this woman on here about that. Like, you're not supposed to be putting your hands on your child. She like, well, I did it, blah, 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 blah. And then later in the conversation talking about, well, at night she had to lock her door because her son be coming in there. She caught him standing over her while she was sleeping, all this shit. And I'm like, you don't see, like, if you are constantly taking a power away from your child and their mission is to establish autonomy, what you think the response to that going to be? When I get bigger than you, I want to fight you back. I need to stand up for myself. Yep. Like it doesn't make sense.
And that's why I was thinking when it's funny because let's be clear, Tara. The psychopaths who made that a thing is because they value animals more than humans, right? Because you're right, you got to be a psychopath to whoop a defenseless 2-year-old, 4-year-old, whatever, right? You got to. And how many of those children who harmed defenseless animals were being beat in the same way that, like, with animals were being beat in the same way that, like what you're describing, right? How many of them have their experience and why they might have these thoughts is because if they go home and they get in trouble, the consequence is getting punched, pinched, beat, locked in the closet, locked in the room. Like, I don't think we correlate those things because it's a lack of care for human beings, for one. But
you're right about that. But there's a difference between a psychopath and a sociopath, right? That's why I said, like, when you think about a psychopath, like, that's something that's more nature, where sociopath would be nurture. But you're right, like, that's when it goes to the epigenetics we were talking about earlier. Like, you triggering something, like, you whooping that child, you fucking beating on that child, and you like, well, why they acting this way? Because you fucking taught them that shit.
They don't see it that way. It's like they don't understand. Like you are creating this very monster. Not good morning. You creating this monster within this child. That's why I say being able to call it out, like being able to say what it is, also helps. Helps people not be able to hide behind like, oh, this is just what it's supposed to be. Like, how else you supposed to do? Blah 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 blah. No, I need y'all to know that if you're hitting your child, you're an abuser. That's why I'm so glad we started changing the language. No, 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 no. You're an abuser. No, I don't care if your parents whooped you. You knew when your parents were whooping you, it was harmful. You feel it. You think about it when you sit around and you talk to that lady or you talk to whoever. You remember getting beat and you talk about it. You might put a little humor on it to try to ease your embarrassment or pain or whatever you got going on, but you know it's wrong. So you're going in consciously doing it. And your parent, if they got whooped, they're going in consciously doing it to you. We got to stop this like, oh, I don't know. No, sometimes, Sarah, we be knowing.
Yeah, and that's why I was talking about the yelling thing because it's easier for them to say, "Well, my parents hit on me all the time. I only hit mine a few times." Abuse is abuse. Abuse is fucking abuse. It don't matter if you did the shit one time; it was abusive. And it's like it's crazy that like it's an argument to label abusive behavior as abuse. Y'all be all fucked up.
Because they don't want to admit it. But they not gonna they don't want to admit it, but they're not gonna stop doing it. Oh dang, hey Lynn. You scared me.
Amen.
Hey y'all.
I don't know why you scared. I look down and boom. But it was something else I wanted to say, but go ahead and
I was letting you finish it. You was making a good point.
I can't remember. No, I was finished because I don't know what else I was going to say.
Abuse is abuse. Um, and I wish that I don't know what we have to unpack. Like, I don't know. Whenever we talk about this subject, I feel like I'm missing a part of the education because I haven't read that book that Tara told us to read. Because I have a feeling that, like, I know a lot of the times when Black people make the excuses for like whooping their kids and stuff like that, it's directly connected to like slavery. And I feel like in our heads, we feel like slavery was so long ago, so we try to like distance ourselves from that instead of like learning how it affected us like generationally. Because if you think about it, some of us only like three generations removed from it, and that's not a lot, you know?
Yeah, and it's like when people talk about them having boomer parents and how fucked up their parents is. Um,
Yeah.
like, but then a part of the conversation doesn't ever get to the point where, well, if my parents was fucked up, let me talk about the ways that I must also be fucked up. It's this idea that my parents can be fucked up, but I turned out fine, and it becomes a problem. And yeah, the behaviors is passed down. It continue to be passed down, but I think the core of it is the power dynamic. We need to look at the power dynamic because the way this is the problem with nuclear families versus a community, right? When you have children isolated, because we talk about women being isolated in nuclear families, when you have children isolated, they don't have anybody that can advocate for them, and then it's like, oh, I need to appease this person so I can fucking survive, I can eat, and I won't be harmed. Then like you end up with a dangerous situation for children. But in community, they would have more of a voice. Like in community, they would have other people they could go to. In community, like there were other ways of protection. But this way of like singling kids off is a problem also because we have this power dynamic and feel like, well, I'm doing these things to take care of you, even though if you don't fucking do it, they'll lock your dumb ass up. I'm doing these things for you, and because I'm doing these things for you, you owe me something, and that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And it's like also like in you said something in there like kind of struck a nerve with me because like it's crazy like how us as Black people, our parents, like they plan their lives around us taking care of them. And I feel like a lot of people have not unpacked that yet. A lot of people have not unpacked that. In fact, like people a lot of people, like, I know people who feel like they don't owe their kid anything. Who feel like they don't owe their kid anything. They just owe them a pack of noodles and like some food and some clothes. Like, they don't owe their kid to try to make them the best version of them. Like, and I don't know, maybe I'm ignorant because like I don't have kids, but I just think of like, once you decide to have a child, I think it's up to you to try to figure out how to make them flourish and make them be the best possible person that they can be, and almost every aspect of their life, with allowing them the freedom to become themselves. It's like a partnering with them. Like, you supposed to aid them. That's how I look at it. And like, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like our parents and like a whole generation of Black people plan their life around their children doing something to plan their life around their children doing something to take care of them, instead of being like, I'm fighting to the last possible minute to make my kids' life and even my grandkids' life better. Because they were saying the other day on Franklin Live, like, yeah, once I have a grandkid, that's yours. It's your child to raise. Did my part, I raised you. And I feel like that mindset is so stupid. Like, you don't want to help your kid. You don't want to help your kid raise their kid, even though you know how hard that shit is. Like, what the fuck, y'all want to grow old and be like 60 and 50 and still moving around to the point where you can't help your kid. What, you gonna be on vacation like every year? I mean, every month, every week?
And that's
Like, you can't be
essentially,
there for your grandkids. It's crazy.
but no, essentially is like it shows how much we dehumanize children, right? Because when you say like, because first of all, it's supposed to be a community thing. It's not that, oh, you're done raising your children. This is your family. Why are you not trying to support your family? And we say we family oriented, but we don't show up like people that's family oriented, right? And it's like, this focus on like, oh, what my child can do for me. If you look at the system, right, think of the system as the fucking parent, and you being a child, you're doing exactly what you learned from the system. The system said, well, shit, after you raise, like, after you do certain things that we don't give a fuck about you, like, you're supposed to take care of us. You're supposed to pay into the system. You're supposed to work. You're supposed to, like, it's like, I gave you the basic needs. Now you need to show up now. And that's what I'm saying. At the core of it is always a fucking power dynamic. It's the fucking power dynamic. And because we don't, our inability to value ourselves, we project it onto the children. Because why is not the goal to make sure that you're a healthy person and I'm being supportive? And it's like, we keep seeing our children as the fucking ops, that we're not. That's what I'm saying. Like, the goal is to establish a bond when you humanize yourself and you humanize your child. And instead of you saying like, you're my possession, you're my family, I'm here for you, like, I support you, we in this together, anything you need, I'm here to take. You can count on me for that. But like, we've literally, that's what I'm saying, like, we've been conditioned to break out kids because like we end up being a warden in our own fucking home. Like, people are tyrants coming home yelling at their kids all fucking day because you went through some shit. How is that establishing a connection? How is that deepening the bond that you share with each other? How is that humanizing this child that you fucking gave birth to, or like it's supposed to be part of you? And that shit is fucking crazy because at the end of the day, like, we think our children are fucking disposable. We think they're disposable. Like, if you can't help me extend myself, my reputation further, if you can't help me look good as a person and a parent, and I'm not top whatever, then I have no use for you. If you can't make life easier for me and basically show up for me, then I got no use for you. Like, it's crazy how like we are taught to dehumanize our own fucking children. We literally start treating our children like they belong to the fucking state. And I'm helping the state out by you. I'm gonna whoop your ass if you not listen to what I'm saying, or the way authority, you not listen to authority. Because when you got on those streets, you gotta listen to authority. So why the fuck you not respecting authority, right? Your behavior, I don't give a fuck why you behaving like that. I'm not going to go to a mental health specialist or sit down and actually listen to you to figure out what's going on. No, you need to do this. You need to get your shit together. I'm going to whoop your ass. I'm going to yell at you. You need to be controlled. You, like, We talk about children like they fucking evil. Like we talk about our kids like they're fucking evil, and like we need to go in and correct the fucking behavior of their children more, fucking humanize their kids in a way we don't.
Yeah. Do y'all think we still treat our children like chattel?
Yeah, think about it. Think about it. Like when it comes to like these gender roles that we talking about, based on your gender, you got to show up this way. You got to have these behaviors, right? And if you're not showing up though, like you embarrassing me, you out there not behaving like you supposed to, I'm going to physically harm you. I'm going to mentally harm you. Like we're not seeing our children as like, and a lot of it has to do with the way we see ourselves. A lot of people don't value themselves. Your child that look like you gonna fucking treat them like shit because you treat yourself like shit.
The propaganda works, right? That's why I say like these films and media that we see that paints black people in the way that it paints them, it also makes it okay for you to devalue and view black folks lesser. So it's poor black folks, but it's also black children. So here you are, you are so afraid, or you feel like if you see any bad behavior, you got to correct the child before the system do. But then as soon as the system get on, it's like it kind of solidifies the way you felt about your child anyway, because you're detached from your child. So you end up preparing them for it and then blaming them for some of the situations that they put themselves in. I'm talking about at a young age, right? You say that the world is hard, so you got to get your child prepared for it. But if the world gonna be hard on them, why the fuck is your preparation you being hard on them too?
Yeah, and that's
Go ahead.
my bad though. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
This is why I know it's like The Body Keeps the Score and The Deep as well are two good books to read on there. Where like a lot of like immune issues or like quality of life when it comes to health later in life is tied to like the survival mode we feel in childhood, because we put our children in survival mode. Like the reality is like, oh, if the system is this harsh, then home need to be this harsh so you'll be okay when you go out there and they're harsh toward you. But that's not how that works. That's not how resiliency works. The way resiliency works is at home, you're safe. At home, you matter here. What you gotta say matter. Like you're like, we love you at home. The support is always gonna be here. So when you go out in the fucking world, now you're more resilient against the bullshit. If I think a good movie that showed this was the Miles Morales movie, the second one. I don't know if y'all familiar with it, but I'm gonna just say it anyway. Before Miles took off with what's her name? Gwen. What was her name? Damn. I think it's Gwen. Shit, her name Gwen right now. Before Miles took off with Gwen or went off to the different whatever they was going, he had a conversation with his parents that was vital, with his mother specifically. She was like, no, this who you, she like validated him and showed him like at home we care about you. So when he went out and they tried to manipulate him, he was able to think on his own, like, hold up, these people don't get to define me because at home, this is who I am and I know who I am. Like my parents showed me like, no, I fucking matter. So you can't come in here and fucking manipulate me. And that allowed him to be resilient enough to get out of a dangerous situation. You don't break your children and think they're going to be fucking resilient. Home should be a safe fucking space. Home is where they supposed to be able to make mistakes and fuck up, and you love them regardless. I'm helping you get ready for if the police approach you and all that shit. You're calming your fucking child. That's what breaking is. That's why that's the fucking the formula. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to appeal to fucking authority. Put your head down. Don't speak up for yourself. What the fuck is that?
It's that bullshit. And no, I teach that all the time, right? Because this the thing. When you're like I talked about yesterday, the five needs of the 5 needs for children, and one of them is time, attention. Damn, I keep forgetting them. But anyway, the point is, it's five needs, and they all break down something. But what those needs do when you give those child it's five needs, and they all break down something. But what those needs do when you give those child those five needs, it gives them they have self worth, and that self worth does activate something in them when they're outside of your presence. Because in my mind, I don't want my children to just be well behaved for the other adults to be like, oh, your child is well behaved. I want my children to be able to make decisions outside of me in my absence that's gonna prioritize their welfare, right? So if your child feels safe with you and you've instilled those things and you've been there, you've been that safe space, you've been that refuge, you are that refuge for them. Let's say your child do make a small mistake. They want to hang out with some friends, they go out to hang out with the friends. Now you wouldn't, if they would have asked you for your advice would have been no, because you might could have sent way ahead and going to a party as a freshly new 18, 19-year-old. All kind of shit can happen, right? They get to the party, they got a lot of self-worth, right? They value their own opinion, self-worth, right? They value their own opinion. So they get to the party and they start seeing some shit funny. Guess who they might call first? They roll with somebody there. They start saying something funny. Hey, mama, come pick me up. If you're safe and you're a refuge for them, they don't have to worry about, you might tell them I told you, you might say this, it might be a conversation, but they're going to trust to call you. They're not going to keep it secret, right? They trusted themselves to get themselves out the situation. They called you because they trust you, that you're going to be there for them, even if they do something that you might not would have approved or said yes to, but they know I can come to you. And I think parents don't realize that your children are going to do certain things outside of your quote unquote control, but you want them to be able to at the very least see you as a refuge, not as another problem that's stacked up on top of the shit they done got themselves into. Because if you aren't a refuge, there are gonna be other adults that's gonna manipulate them. Other kids are gonna try to get them to do certain things. Other people are going to grab hold of your child. Your child cannot come to you, cannot be safe with you because you will, like Tara said, a fucking warden. Then they're gonna be able to go to they're gonna go to other people. Other parents might be able to influence your child. Other random folks might be able to influence your child. It's important that we stop putting ourselves in this godlike role, and you just simply say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you for lack of a better term, I'm gonna give you the game, but I'm gonna always be here to help you navigate. I'm gonna always be here." You know, it's a work in progress. You might make a mistake, but I'm gonna show you how you pick yourself back up. Yeah, like that's the way it should be, but oftentimes it's a power play that's happening, in my opinion. It's always this power, this need to be in control.
Thank you, Mia. We be getting sensitive about the kids. We kind of like got away from the thing about the topic about oh, thank you, Dark Horse. We got away from the like how like we enforce these behaviors in our children and that is not biological. The reason why I think and somebody brought this up yesterday, Mia. When we talk about all these like when we talk about like all these problem issues, in a lot of ways, like when the men talk about how they're like raised and conditioned, the thing is a lot of black women can relate to it because we are conditioned the same way, but because of the way women are in society we have different levels of protection, right? Because we can actually go talk to other women about it, um and we don't get that, like society ain't gonna reinforce it because they're gonna treat us like, hey, you better get your shit together. So that allows for a level of resiliency. um and I think that's important to realize that because, like, a lot of these things these men be saying about, oh, I'm not able to show emotion and I'm not able to be vulnerable. We can fucking relate to that shit. Like, we can relate because in a lot of ways, a lot of black women are fucking raised the same way. Like, you wasn't allowed to have fucking feelings. You need to shut up before I give you something to cry for.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
y'all want to know something crazy, and I'm gonna be vulnerable. And if y'all tell anybody, I'm gonna deny it. So, oh well. Um, what caused me to work on myself was my pick-meism. Like, I felt like if I don't work on myself, if I don't go to therapy, if I don't like unpack the shit that like was holding me back as a child, then I ain't gonna never get a man. That's what
Damn, that's
started me on my journey. And I was like, why would I bring like harmful shit into like a relationship that I want if I want to have like a healthy relationship? If I want to have like a lasting relationship, then I have to like do the work to unpack all the bad shit that's in me. Like, I have to figure out about emotional regulation. I have to, and like, I don't know where in my mind I thought that the other side was doing that same thing. Like, I'm like, everybody is doing this. So it's just me. Like, and then I'm not gonna say I'm on me. Like, and then I'm not gonna say I'm on the other side, but as I gain knowledge and then like once you begin a journey like this, you start realizing that there are so many other like things that kind of build. Okay, so okay, now you learn about emotional intelligence. Now that includes emotional regulation, but what is emotional regulation? You can do a deep dive inside of that. Okay, I'm doing a dive inside of that. Okay, I'm learning about like cognitive dissonance. I'm learning about regression. I have to stop regressing. Oh my God, now I can look into this abandonment issues. Okay, what about abandonment issues? The fear of rejection. Okay, how do I unpack the fear of rejection? Reading books, reading books, reading books. And like once I began working on myself, I realized that 95% of the people are not doing the same thing as me. So now that I don't think I'm fucked up as other people, I feel like I exceeded the expectations. So now like I be like, I don't want to mingle with a man who ain't did the work like me. And I don't care if I gotta remain single forever, but the other side of me working on myself for a relationship looks like not even wanting a fucking relationship because other people, 95% of the people ain't doing the same thing. They just talk about it. Like a lot of men say, like, oh, I have emotional intelligence, I have emotional regulation. And I'm like, who the fuck taught you? Who taught you? Because you just weren't born that way. And if you like, oh man, I just grew up that way, you're a fucking liar. You were raised in the projects, or you were raised in like hood or hood adjacent, a single parent household, or y'all didn't have enough, or you was raised in the 90s with this kind of generation. Like, get the fuck out of here. You don't got no fucking trauma. You ain't worked on shit about yourself. You can't touch me. Like, I don't want any man who hasn't worked on himself to touch me. And like in that journey, I discovered that I'd rather be alone than deal with a man who gonna take me back. Cause like I've come too far. The work I've done on myself has been too progressive and too monumental. And like fucking with you and you ain't on your shit on your own journey, you're not about to ruin me. No, no. Because that's a part of the journey too. Knowing that motherfuckers will latch on to you and pull you down like a fucking anchor. Like, have you ever tried to see somebody trying to save somebody who's drowning? The person who's drowning end up panicking and drowning the person who's saving them. Because they start jumping on top of them and pushing them under in order to get on top and get a breath of air. Nah, baby, I can't say nobody who's drowning. You gotta say yourself.
Can I say this? First of all, you stating like your intention for like even doing the work it's interesting because so many people will hear what you're saying and like go straight to judgment and not realize that that's a level of self-awareness that you only develop through like going through the journey, right? And the interesting thing is like when you are putting yourself in positions where you are fucking uncomfortable and like I mean you so uncomfortable in your skin because you're trying to be honest with yourself, that shit is fucking rough. it pay off because over time you just like whatever you just learn or whatever. And I think the motivation is for us to like do work in a lot of ways be fucking selfish, right? And it's interesting when you sound like, well, if I did all this work, why would I let a person who hasn't done the work come in and fucking destroy me or whatever? Because I can relate to that because that's one of the things I talked about. Like at this point, I don't want to be in a relationship, and it's not because like I just don't like. In a lot of ways, I think the conditioning, like we end up wanting the things that we was conditioned to do. But I recognize that like I can't be in a relationship. Like if I'm constantly clocking behavior, you know how that's going to show up in a relationship. You like that would be fucking work to the point where like I'm no longer focusing on myself and I'm focusing on you, right? Like, constantly clocking the fucking behavior. Your standards are going to be different because now you give a fuck about yourself and you're not going to put up with a lot of shit. Like that's the other side of doing the work that's interesting. And if y'all, a lot of y'all haven't done the work, and it's obvious to a person who's done it, right? And I'm sure some things I haven't worked through, and it'd be obvious to a motherfucker who already done that for themselves, whatever. It's just fucking obvious. You can see it clearly. Y'all think y'all masking, but you're not as well as you masking to another motherfucker masking too. But somebody who actually being honest with themselves, it's gonna be easily detectable. But at the end of the day, it's like it do get to a point where you become very protective of your space and who's in your space because like you know how fucking hard it is to sit with yourself. You know how hard it is to sit with yourself, essentially you have an ego down and like rebuild yourself up. To let a motherfucker come in your space and tear all that shit down, ain't no fucking way you gonna let somebody undo all that work.
Yeah. And part of me, like on this journey was, you're right, Tara. It was an ego death, and it went from like learning all the reasons why, like I didn't love me, and I was taught not to love me, to I did all this work. I'm a lovable motherfucker. Like I love the fuck out of me, and loving me looks like protecting me like no fucking other. Like no other, to the point to where people people react that way to me. Like if a man meet me in person, because I love myself so much, like he began treating me the same way. My parents treat me the same way. Like my around me treat me the same way because I'm protective over me and I really love me. I don't work hard to build my mental fortitude and my mindset. And when I tell you, ain't a motherfucker on this planet, not a sister, not an auntie, not a mama, not a man, can take that from me. Ain't nobody coming into my life and ruining that for me. And it's funny because like my coworkers be making fun of me because we be in the van and like nobody buckle up their seatbelt when we be in a van. Like we're in a van. They like, why you gotta buckle up your seatbelt? We on a bus. I'm like, baby, I buckle up my seatbelt everywhere I go. I am fucking precious cargo. Do you hear me? I love myself down bad. So the moment a motherfucker gets to playing in my face, I'm gonna get to snapping about me. See, the problem is, as women, we be more protective over our kids, over our man, over other people in our lives, but you don't give yourself the same fucking protection. And I ain't fucking doing it. I'm gonna go off about me above anybody else. You ain't gonna play in my face. You ain't gonna treat me any kind of way because I don't. And I'm gonna stand on it every single time. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. What type of manipulation or mind game? That shit gonna piss me off too. Cause now you calling me stupid, and I think I'm a smart motherfucker. So you can't be calling me stupid to my face, bitch. Stop playing with me.
But
And
that
that's all.
no, but that when you talk about like especially with the parenting thing, right? When you like that because that's part of the reparenting process, right? Is eventually you recognizing that you fucked up and you building yourself back up from like ground up or whatever. And like you're going to have boundaries even with your children. Like some of the like I said, it's subtle. Like a little like little stuff here. Like No, my time is valuable. I love you. You have access to me, but it got to be a limit because I'm still a fucking person. And like that would be like when we was having a conversation about how children see you as a fucking appliance. Yeah, because a lot of times we treat ourselves like an appliance. But if my child see that, oh, like my mother's there for me, she cared for me, but I can't cross this boundary with her because she's still a fucking person, then they're going to learn the value as a person too. It's like it's not something that's just for you. You're right. It starts a precedence for how people behave around you, and that's everybody. Because y'all know for a fact, if you it's two people on two opposite ends of the spectrum, one motherfucker you will play in that face every fucking time because you know they're not gonna give you no pushback. Like you can say whatever and do whatever, and they gonna want to please you so much they ain't gonna give you no pushback. But there's another motherfucker don't give two shits about what you gotta say, and you gonna fucking move around. You the same person, but you act differently around people based on the way they treat themselves and the standards they set for themselves. That's why it's so important for you to learn to fucking value yourself and realize, hold up, everybody fucked up. Ain't nobody on a fucking pedestal. All y'all got insecurities. So you know what? It's okay that I have insecurities because everybody fucking got them. I don't have to quiet myself and be pretend like I don't have these insecurities because maybe they're gonna recognize them. If they're recognized because they have them too. We have this tendency of thinking we the ones fucked up and everybody can't see in between, but we all got the problem. And once you recognize that, then it's like, oh, I can move accordingly. Because what the fuck, you can't say shit to me. Because you sit here like pretending you are high and mighty, but I can see through the mask. I can see through the mask because I once wore it myself.
Um, I agree with y'all. I think that it was interesting when you think of it like that because I'm sure a lot of people have that same revelation. But I do think that the reason why the journey happens is because of the way we are conditioned as little girls. I think that in this society, being a woman is your fault. So maybe you did think that other men were working on themselves, but I think that what's at the forefront of anybody's brain is that women have a problem and we are antagonizing men. So if we don't figure out our emotions, because men are logical, because they're conditioned to believe that they're being logical even though they're highly emotionally unstable, you are at a very young age conditioned to believe that it's your fault and you got to fix yourself. So that ends up helping you, I guess, when we think about how helpful it is to have self-awareness, but it all goes back to being socialized. Like, it's not, I done heard so many women, even the women who are like, who we are like, oh, they are heavy pick me's, they crazy, they harmful. They are talking because they are trying, whether it's fake or not, they are trying to figure out what the fuck they can do to get a man because something got to be wrong with them. So they're going the route of, because they might be dishonest with themselves and they're scared, they're still going the route of trying to figure out what type of language, what type of behaviors do I need to have to be able to get a man because it got to be my fault. And that comes from the way we socialize as kids. We are not, I don't think we're born to believe that we are responsible for everything. I don't think it's in our biology to be these fixers of everybody else but ourselves. I think we are conditioned to figure out how to make things easy for other people around us. So I need to be easy to deal with so a man will want to be with me. I need to be easy to deal with so I can keep friends. I need to be easy to deal with so that my parents will love me and my siblings will. I need to be easy to deal with. So what I need to do, I need to make sure I'm cooking for people, cleaning for people, showing up for people. I need to be raising people's kids. I need to be raising my kids. I need to be understanding to people. I need to listen to people. All that goes into us being socialized that way.
Yeah, and that's why late stage adolescence, those years between 18 and 25, is actually important. Like, those are the ages they telling us we need to be pairing up with somebody. But those are the crucial years when we actually should be spending that time alone. Because, like, we need to realize what makes us feel uncomfortable. If in your home is fucking dysfunctional, and yeah, you still got, you want to be childlike in your home because those things you had to do to protect yourself when you was a child, a young child, you're going to do it when you get close to adulthood, right? And then you just hop right into a relationship, you still are going to be doing those things. You're going to like it's still going to balance out that way. You need to spend some time by yourself so you can recognize the bullshit. The thing is about abuse, a lot of times you don't recognize the abuse until you out of the situation. There's a lot of people who relationships ended and they didn't even realize the shit was abuse until they got out of it. There are people who in their early 20s realized their household was a dysfunctional and they couldn't recognize it inside the home. Some of the shit is obvious, but some of it you're not gonna be able to catch. You need to spend that time alone, like not trying to you can know people, you can have your support, your circle or whatever, but even that might move around because you're supposed to be growing. But this idea that you're gonna be in this dynamic with somebody and they have all these expectations of you and you already been conditioned to like put them first and you're going to fawn and people please, that's going to be dysfunctional for you. That is part of the reason why a lot of times with these problems there is a fucking delay. You're delayed. You haven't finished your developmental process.
You're absolutely right. And but that's a part of it too. Like, why do you think that they want us to be paired off if it's not so that we won't be feeling trapped, so that we won't feel this amount of insecurity that keeps you with partnered up with somebody? Like, men need us to be dazed and confused and trying to figure out how we could be a better person for people. That's what benefits them the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, us constantly being like, oh, what can I fix? Oh, I need to get some help. Blah 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 blah. That is beneficial to them. I just think back on how I was going to therapy. I was like watching that fucking marriage counseling show that was on HBO. I wasn't reading no books. I was listening to podcasts. So I was trying my hardest to figure out like my attachment style, what I could do, how I could be better. I was doing the most for my ex trying to be right. That motherfucker was laughing at me because he didn't give a motherfuck. He didn't care. He needed me to be in this constant state of trying to earn him, trying to get accepted by him. Like, if only I just do this, this, and third. I was wearing myself out, mentally and physically. Because I was physically, being intimate, trying to make sure that I'm pleasing him and making sure he ain't gonna leak. Like, the trauma, when I think back on it, makes me want, like, the things that women go through and the fact that they do not go on rampages. Now that might be next human level. I don't know, and I don't want to dehumanize us and make us extraordinary. But I mean, come on now, y'all. Men crash out for less.
But that's because the reason why women don't end up like crashing out is because we are actually doing the work. Like like doing the work requires being at like your rock bottom. Most of the time, that's the only time people will make a change is when they feel that they're at their rock bottom. It might not be like an actual rock bottom, like to you. You might not be like, damn girl, it was just a breakup, or damn girl, he was just like yada yada yada. But some of the women who have hit their rock bottom and then have had to like build themselves up, like in order to just survive. Like, I'm talking about get out of bed, make your kids breakfast, like take a fucking shower. Like that shit requires work and resilience. And I guess that's what Tara means when she says that like patriarchy makes men soft, because when you have a silver spoon and the silver spoon looks like patriarchy, you're not going to do the work because you don't fucking have to. Like, in your head, you're like, you don't fucking have to. That's how I know. Like, I I know a good man. Like, believe you me. And when I run across 95% of you motherfuckers, y'all not good men. Cause y'all cry about it. Y'all don't actually fucking do it. and you're half-assed. You're only doing one part of the work. Oh, you're going to the gym. So what, bitch? Go to therapy. Oh, well, I go to therapy like once a year. Let's go once a week. Oh, I go to therapy and I'm doing read a book too. Oh, I gotta read a book. What about my get your finances right too, nigga? The fuck you crying about? What are you fucking crying about? I go to the gym. I I go to therapy. I read books. I have hard conversations with my friends. Like some women are raising kids and pulling themselves up every fucking morning, all while working a fucking 9 to 5 and going to school. Bitch, shut up. I don't want to hear about your shit, nigga. We all done fucking been through some shit, but you niggas can't seem to put on your fucking big boy pants and say, I'm fucked up. Let me get a little bit better. At least if it's not for me, for myself, I mean, for my kids, you motherfuckers don't give a goddamn. You just want to exist in this world mediocre while women are doing the fucking work. Like, and I'm talking about if it ain't going to therapy, is reading a book, going to school, and grinding and raising their kids and not making excuses. Like, men can literally say, like, oh, I'm going through a hard time right now. I can't deal with these kids right now. I can't, I don't got the money to help you to give for groceries or give for little Craig to graduate school. I don't got it right now. When moms are not able to say I don't got it right now, that fucking rent is due, bitch. The fucking rent is due. My kids gotta eat, bitch. So not only am I working hard right now and doing overtime, I'm also in school because I gotta make some more money. I don't want no soft ass nigga. If my nigga ain't acting like grinding like a single mom, I don't fucking want him. Cause what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah, they end up being the reason why we have all these problems with men because like because of patriarchy, you end up with a bunch of men. They just a bunch of spoiled brats. That's essentially what it is. Like you're fucking brat. And we see how like when parents like uh basically give their kids everything, how it can stunt their development. And it's like, well, why y'all keep coming from the men? Because like the society system fucking stunt your development. Y'all end up being spoiled brats. You're not gonna work hard for something. But it's like, oh, I just manipulate my parent. I pretend whatever, and they give me what I want. That shit is fucking detrimental. What's up, Sharice?
Hey y'all. Um, I love that y'all are talking about doing the work and kind of like where that point was in your life, like that you knew that you wanted to do a deep dive into doing the work. Um, I felt like I've had so many moments like that. Like I've had childhood trauma and then like, just always being a new girl in a new space and having to be deeply reflective. But I went through it again real hard when I had my first child. Well, my first child, but when I had my son who's here with us today 3 years ago. Because parenting, huh? Hello?
No, you good. Go ahead.
I thought my phone cut out. Yeah, I was just gonna say because parenting, especially if you want to be a good parent, if you're an intentional parent, it really makes you have to look within so much. And it makes you want to say, I don't want to respond based on what I've been through. I want to respond to this based on how I can teach my son or teach my child and strategize and work together and figure out who they are so that we can build a bond together. So I don't know. I just think that there's so many moments in your life that you'll have to do that work. And parenting is such a big one. And if I hear people talking about parenting like it's easy or and I don't really hear that work is being done, I worry for those children. I worry for their child.
Yeah, because when Lynn was like, you know, the motivation to work on herself because essentially like was tied to a man, like I can say like that same thing for me. The reason I started working on myself wasn't out of self love. I wish it could have been, but it wasn't. Cause like I want to be a better parent, and through somewhere along the way, somehow it started being about me, focusing on myself and loving myself more. And it's crazy because the shit wasn't done on purpose; it was on accident. I think it's interesting when we say do the work because some people haven't done the work, don't know what that means. Doing the work is like looking at yourself from the outside, recognizing that you're a flawed person, recognize you're wrong about a lot of stuff, recognizing that your experiences like distort your sense of reality, that most of the things you believe and think about yourself are false. Most of the things you believe about other people is false. Accepting that you don't think highly of yourself. Uh Part of it, like we always talk about the therapy of it, but I think maybe that need to be another conversation when we just basically talk about what actually doing the work is, because it's not missed on me that some people don't even know what that means. They don't know what the fuck doing the work is unless they're doing it. But like one of the ways that we talk about backhand, that on the back end having certain conversations, the work is us challenging each other. If I say something wrong, you're gonna call me out on it. Are you going to enforce your own boundaries? Are you going to like essentially be honest when somebody say you fucking up? And maybe the way I look at it could be different from another way person's looking at it. But doing the work is understanding, is taking yourself off the pedestal and realizing you just another motherfucker. You just another person out here. But what's up, Queen?
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Yes, I can I speak? You want to speak now?
That's why I called on
Eh?
you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think the last speaker was totally right. You know, because we have sometimes we have an overinflated view about ourselves, especially when your friends tell you, "Oh, you are pretty, you are beautiful, you are educated." Your parents to boost up your self esteem. So if you are coming from a healthy background where you have loving people around you, you might unknowingly become deluded without realizing it. You might be doing some things and nobody will tell you that you are effing up because they don't want to make you feel bad or something. But it takes somebody that is genuine and intentional. You know it's very hard to tell people that, when especially when they are effing up. I have a friend, for example. I really love her, and I want our relationship to continue. But I noticed that she was getting overweight. I don't know how I will tell her in a nice way that she's getting overweight without hurting her feelings. So along the line, I told my dad. My dad said, just leave her. Let her be. If she wants to get overweight, if she wants to get obese, let her continue. If you tell her you are number one, it's going to strain your
So hold
relationship.
up real
She's not going
quick.
to
Hold
see
up real quick. Hold up real quick. Because
okay.
I'm gonna mute you for a second. And I just realized I'm on my main account, Lloyd. It's interesting. Cause Queen, I knew you was problematic before you even open your mouth. And I don't know if because of your name, how you interrupted what Sharice did, but now you like going into the problematic part. It's different from women up here because I want y'all to be able to clock it, right? A person who talk about their own personal experiences, who are like won't be honest about like, oh no, I'm the problem. This is how I'm working through it. Like the need to like be like a friend, and then it be to be something as vain as their fucking weight or whatever. It's somebody that's bullshitting you in real time. Like I'm not going to go off, but this is one of the reasons why motherfuckers get confused. Like, cause this woman is fucking playing with us. This woman ain't did shit about nothing. The way she said good evening, like she the like performing right now, that shit real crazy. Because you fucking playing in our face. You talking about a woman weight and how you went to a man about her weight, and you think you thought you had something to hold up. No, I'm meeting you for a reason. You thought you had something to add to this conversation that was gonna be valuable to us. No, have your friend come on the panel and say that shit to her fucking face. Like, you fucking playing with us right now. And that should be annoying because we were just talking about this yesterday. How some of y'all in these spaces and y'all not actually working on yourselves, but y'all so quick to want to join the fucking conversation. You ain't got nothing to add. Your friend and her fucking weight. You want her dad about her weight? Are you fucking serious, ma'am? You thought you were gonna add some of the value to this conversation, and that we should sit on the fucking silent mode and listen to your bullshit? Are you serious right now? Miss Queen Boss, are you fucking serious?
Can I respond? Can I respond? I'm
Go
not
ahead.
trying to speak down. I'm not trying to speak down anybody. I'm not talking down or body shaming it. That's not my point.
No. Don't talk. No. You missed the whole point. Stop talking about your friend. Tell us about you, ma'am. Tell us about you. We don't know.
No, I'm going somewhere before you interrupted me.
Talk about you. Because your friend not.
No, my point is that. Can you listen?
No. You're not listening. You're not listening.
Okay, go on.
No, I already said it, and the question's been asked. Tell us about you, man.
No,
Tell us about some shit. No, since you're not clear, let me say. Tell us about some shit that you worked through. Don't bring up this fucking friend and some fucking weight. Talk about something that's not fucking vain. Go ahead, ma'am. Try. Give it a try.
No. Okay, now I'm going to talk about I was making a point, but you seem to be getting it twisted. You are taking it to another level. I'm not taking it to.
Your point was stupid.
You are completely misunderstanding me. This is not about body shaming or criticizing anybody. Now, since you say I should bring it to myself, certainly I'll talk about myself. When I have people around me, I have a loving family. I have good people around me, but many of the times they won't tell me the truth because they don't want to offend me. Sometimes I'll intentionally ask my friends, please tell me about me, just so that I can work on myself. I look at myself in the mirror every day.
So tell us how you work through something.
I need somebody genuine.
No, what's something you was fucking wrong about and you worked through? Go ahead, we listening.
Good. Now, anytime I notice that many of my dresses don't fit again, so I was now wondering that what's going on. And I now started realizing that okay, I'm getting overweight. Then I started monitoring my
okay. So let's do that. So why did you talk about your friend when it's all about how you feel about subconscious about your weight? Then
no.
I was
going somewhere, but since you are the one that said I should not talk about my friend again, I should talk about myself.
No. So it just came out. You feel subconscious about your weight. So why are you talking about a friend, ma'am?
Because I was going somewhere.
Can y'all
imagine? I should not talk about my friend again.
Can y'all imagine somebody who call you their fucking friend? Somebody who tell you they're your fucking friend to go on internet and tell people, that bitch, I need to go talk to some men about her fucking weight.
Of course, I can say it to her face. And this is not about maligning her.
You brought it up.
So I would love to know, Tara, if I could fix your panel. But I would love to know if the ending of the story with your dad, because I see where Tara's coming from, but I might be ignorant and she might be clocking something that I'm not, but I was hoping, I had faith for you, sis, that you was going somewhere with that story. Like maybe your dad would have checked you. Where were you going with the story with your friend?
But Sarah said I should not talk about her again. I should talk about myself. And I've talked about myself.
Okay, so the question...
She said I should not bring it up again.
Got it. But, okay, so let me ask you this. Did you learn something from the story about your friend?
She didn't let me make my point. So there's no point discussing about the matter again.
Okay, hold on. Because you still gonna be up here, right? You're still gonna be up here, and you're gonna bring up a different point because you want to make a point. So let's pause for a second. Go back to that point. Did you learn anything with the situation with your friend? And don't say, "Oh, Tara said." Da, 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 da. I'm asking you a direct question, and if you can, please answer it. Did you learn anything about yourself through that situation with your friend? And can you tell us about that?
Okay. Now, I was telling my dad, and my dad said no, that there are some things that people need to learn through personal experiences, not by you telling them anything. If you tell them, they'll feel bad about it, but let them have that personal experience so that they'll become better versions of themselves. I was making that mistake and I saw that it was affecting her, but my dad advised that don't tell her, let her be the one to have that self-discovery. That's where I was trying to go. but she but Tara thought I was trying to
But
malign my friend.
you were, and
I
let
was
me explain
never
to you.
maligning her.
Hold on, Queen. Let me explain to you why. Because I'm gonna pretend like I'm your friend, right? Like after hearing the story, I'm your friend who you was talking about. Um, you didn't learn from this situation that it's okay for me to be who I am and I might be going through some, like there was no empathy given to your friend. What you said is that, oh well you gonna grow and be better on your own because I see a problem in you. When in reality there was
No,
no problem
the
in her.
idea,
You
the point was that when I started gaining weight, I noticed that I started becoming weaker. I started getting prone to sicknesses, and I saw
well
that
no, you
this is
didn't
my
say
own
that,
story. This is
Queen.
my own experience. Do you understand? I didn't want her to go through it. So I wanted her to learn from my own personal experience. But my dad said, no, don't tell her so that she won't feel bad.
Yeah,
I
but like
wanted to
you, I want to
go
know
on.
what I want to know. Have you stopped and thought about why you felt you needed to be in the seat like that? Like it was more so about your ego than
No,
helping your friend. Like,
never.
cause why,
If I love you, if you are
Queen?
my friend and I love you, I will tell you the truth. It's not about me. It's just because I
But
want you to be a better version. If I love you, I'll tell you you are doing this wrong. I think you need to fix this.
that's
It's
based
not
on
about
you.
ego.
Hold on, Queen. Hold on, Queen. That's based on your ideas of what she should look like. It's about weight. You didn't
It's
say
not about
like,
looks. It's about the health implications that come with it. That was what I was telling.
but that's not
That's
what
what I
you
was talking about.
said. But that's not what you said, Queen, at first. So that's why Tara came off that way. Because that's not what
It's
you
not
said
about
at
body
first.
shaming. It's about the health implications. That's what I was more concerned about because it was affecting me, and I learned from it, and I didn't want it to affect her.
Right. But like we also gotta learn like what if she came to you and she said, hey, I noticed that I was getting bigger and I'm starting to get health things with me and I saw that you lost weight. Can you tell me like what happened? That like that make more sense. But you like I don't know. I like the moral of the story for you and for your dad was she'll learn on her own, and it wasn't like I need to mind my own business and support my
Yeah,
friends wherever they are.
for my own sanity. If I okay, how will I have put it? You are overweight. You need to stop eating too much. Should I have put it that
You're
way?
not getting no,
Even
you're
though I
not getting
meant
the
But
well.
point.
notice the fixation is on her weight and not her health.
Yeah, but and yeah, you're not getting the point. You should have just mount your business about somebody's ways
I was saying
unless
it so
they
that I should
ask.
not put a strain on
So
our
even now,
relationship.
so hold up. Even now, that's what I'm saying. This is where I say, when we talking about the ego death and why it's so important. Queen can't be wrong right now. We're not gonna get nowhere in this conversation because she's going to defend herself to the end because she's not comfortable being wrong and taking criticism. It's like, well, damn, I see where that could be a problem. I need to work on it. Instead, it's like, no, you pointing the finger at you. You're not getting what I'm saying. You're not letting me talk. No, you already said the thing. You already said it. And in given a chance to fix it, you still saying it. That's what I'm saying. The conversation don't have to be this fucking difficult. It don't have to be this fucking difficult. But you trying to protect your ego right now. You that's what you give a fuck about. You don't even know us like that. But right now, you gonna fucking unlock on this panel trying to protect your fucking ego.
Mm-mm. I'm not proving any point to you. There's nothing you want to do for me, but I'm just wondering. This is my own story. This was a situation. So it's not about ego. So I don't understand why you think I'm coming from a place of ego.
because we can sense it on you. And I'm trying to explain to you, but you don't want to hear it.
Okay, fine. If you were in my shoe, what would you have done? You would just be looking at your friend
I would have never
and not
had
say
those
anything.
thoughts about my friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm a
I would have
person
never
who's
went to
into
my father
fitness.
about what my friend is going through either.
Yeah. I'm a person who's into fitness, believe you me. And a lot of women who aren't into fitness, they're who are my friends, they had to come to me and ask for help. I never looked at them and was like, you know what? I run 3 miles every day. I'm doing that for myself, and I think you should do it too because I'm healthy and I know what's best for your life. But I'm available for them if they ask for my help.
And the
Do you
way
know
you're
how
talking
difficult
about
it
it,
is to
Queen,
lose
it
weight?
doesn't sound like you were
It's not as
genuinely
easy as
concerned about
that.
your friend.
You're not.
Do you think
The way
do you
that you're
think
talking about it, you don't sound
it's
like you
very
were.
difficult? Do you think it's easy to lose weight? It's very difficult. It's easier to maintain it than to lose weight.
Yeah,
That's
but you
what I was trying
projecting
to.
onto your friend. Like that's what I'm saying. Instead of projecting onto your friend, why didn't you just thought about your own personal journey? Why did we have to start talking about your friend? Because then you went to say how
Because
you
I
felt
learned
about
from
you.
it and I didn't want her to make that same mistake. Do you get? So I'm wondering where this ego
Oh,
part is
okay.
coming from.
So you now you competing with your friend. Got it.
What mistake was she making? What was the mistake?
What was the mistake? Like, I remember I used to overeat and I noticed she was having that same pattern. How would I have told her that you are eating too much in a nice way? So I just had to just stay on my lane and just act like, I mean,
But
I
how
didn't
do
see
you
not to
know,
straight.
Queen, listen, friend. And I mean that very loosely. How do you know what's overeating for someone else? Like, how do I know if somebody else is overeating?
How do I know if somebody's
Your
overeating?
Yeah, how do you know someone, how do you know what sustenance for someone else? Like, do you feel her stomach? Like, are you in her stomach too?
How you know somebody's overeating is when she has a flabby stomach, like dropping stomach. That's why, and I'm not saying it from a place of ego or to
Or
speak
you
down on
are.
her.
You
If I
are.
love you, I'll
You
tell you the
fixated on
truth.
her
I
stomach.
think it's a cultural difference.
No, it's not. It's not just a cultural difference. She fixated on her friend's stomach because she fixated on her own. That's what I'm saying. Like you're not able to be vulnerable. You don't want. You can't be vulnerable, so you had to put it on a friend. And then this fucking conversation is fucking surface level as hell. Because you're talking about she
Okay,
eating too much. For,
you don't get my
why? What?
point.
Hold up. Hold
Since you
up.
are
You're
taking
not.
it
You're
to,
not talking. You're not coming to a place with empathy. Like, because you try to clean it up, say you care about her health, but you focusing on her stomach.
you asked a question. You said, "How do I know that she's overeating?" That was the question you asked me. And I answered you because it showed in her stomach. Somebody that is overeating to reveal in his stomach the size of the stomach.
First of all, that way oversimplifies like what causes.
Stomach.
First of all, that way oversimplifies like what causes weight gain and like or weight loss, and what size your body is. Like their hormones, cortisol, your age, like all of the genetics, your age, all of these things have an effect on how much you weigh, and you don't know like what her biological makeup is like. What you don't know what's going on. Are you a doctor? Like, have you like run tests? No, you haven't done any of that. You don't know. So why are you even concerning yourself with
Okay,
that?
believe whatever you want to believe. I think you're not getting my point. It's okay if you don't get my point. Believe whatever
Yeah,
you
no,
want
we
to
don't
believe.
get your point. Because
It's fine.
I,
We are just going
as
around
a
in circles,
person
and
who,
you seem to be taking my
well, I'm
words
still
out of
gonna say what I
context.
want to. No, no, I
It's
know
fine. It's
exactly what you're
okay.
saying. I'm just saying you have audacity. Like it's always a motherfucker who just lost weight and just began their health journey that want to tell another motherfucker that they need to start there. It's like when a woman just get a man, she be ready to get you a man too. like, let me get you a man too, because I got my shit. Like, as a person who
Oh, really?
is, yeah, really, positively. As a person
It's
who
fine. There's no
works
basis.
out
There's no basis
on, hold
continuing this
on,
conversation
hold
because
on.
you are getting my words
Well, we
twisted.
gon'
Have a nice
okay,
day. Ah,
we
I
can
told
continue it without you.
most definitely. But
We're
I'm
not gonna stop
saying
talking
she can't
about you
be
because you
wrong. Like,
leave.
look, that's what I'm saying. It's like she couldn't deal with the uncomfortableness that maybe she was wrong with the way she said it. Like, first of all, she wouldn't be vulnerable, and then it's like, oh, I'm not wrong about anything. Y'all just y'all getting it wrong. Y'all the motherfucking problem. That's problematic. Like, and that was the point we was just making before she came up here.
Yeah, that's like when everybody was talking shit about Chadwick Boseman because he was getting too skinny, and come to find out he had cancer. Y'all be making yourself look like jackasses every day. And it's not friendly. I'm here to support my friend. That's it. That's it. I'm going to tell you when it's affecting me. But you and what you eat, that shit don't be affecting me.
But to
And to
go
be
to
like,
her
I was looking
father,
at her stomach and it was
she went
hanging,
to her
she was
father though.
overeating.
Like, she went to her father to talk about her friend's weight. What
Crazy
kind
work.
of who the fuck want that type of friendship? Like, what the fuck is you talking about?
Not me. Not me. I don't have weight like fluctuations since like forever. And I've had the same group of friends. Shout out to my best friend. I just went out to eat with her right now. She took me out to eat for my birthday. We've been best friends since we was 12. Do you know how many weight loss journeys that we've been on together? Yeah, she's gained weight, lost weight. I ain't never once told that bitch. And I've known her since we were 12. Like, I lived with this lady practically. Like, that's my sister. I ain't never told her, oh, you getting big. It look like you need to lose weight. But when I'm on my shit and she noticed me and she like, bitch, what you doing? You losing weight. I'm like, girl, this what I'm doing. And she like, shit, I'm about to hop on with you. Have you ever thought that maybe you're not a safe space for your fucking friends? Because all of my friends come to me for weight loss advice. And it's probably because I don't be trying to push my lifestyle on them. See, bitches like you create unsafe spaces for people, and I tried to give you a chance. So y'all don't say I just go around calling people bitches, even though I do. I tried to get a lady a chance, but I don't like people who bullies because I'm a bigger bully, and
Yeah,
I'll be
but
ready to be a bigger bully.
that part of what we was talking about is also like you dealing with internalized misogyny, because it's like it's very normal for women to fixate over weight, and in a way that's, in a lot of times, it's unhealthy. And instead of going to your friend and saying, hey, uh everything good, what's going on, you fixate on her fucking stomach, and you went to your fucking daddy, a man, to talk about your friend fucking stomach. Is fucking crazy. Like, that's fucking wild. But that's why I was pointing it out, because we was talking about doing the work and how, like, it's so easily detectable. Like, I don't. It's very interesting how, like, she was clockable before she opened her fucking mouth. Liz, did you want to say something?
I honestly forget now. It'll come back to me.
We was having a good fucking moment up here, real healing. We was on to some shit. Damn, Tara,
Yeah,
you did
birthday,
clock
man.
that. What you say?
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, girl. It was like 2 weeks ago, or
I'm
like
Uh,
a
thinking,
week
like,
ago.
damn, I had a moment. Like, damn, I'm missing your birthday. That's crazy.
No,
Happy
girl, you was
belated.
there. You
That birthday been over. No, for a moment I was tripping for like a third of a second.
don't, ma'am, please. It's my birthday all month, and I just got me some salt and vinegar chips. So
Those are my favorite.
dark horse, dark horse. It's dark horse's fault. Do what dark horse did is sicker, cause I almost lost my life behind these chips last night. Shit,
So hold up, you went and got some afterwards? Cause
left.
you Damn. The salt and vinegars be everything.
Yeah. And I want to say, good job on talking her because we were being vulnerable. Like, y'all got to learn how to read the room. Like, I don't understand. I get the annoyance because this is your panel. Like, let me explain something. This is Tara's panel. Sharice was being vulnerable about her growth as a mother and the things she went through. I was being vulnerable about like the male centeredness I experienced. Tara was being vulnerable, and then she come up here and she like, not me, it's y'all and my friend. Like that's why I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Like, well, what did you learn from this situation? And it was just like, oh, that my friend's still in the wrong, but she just gonna figure it out. Like, what, lady? Come on. All right, you got it.
It was also her acting like her friend gaining weight was just keeping her up at night to the point she couldn't sleep or something, that she had to go tell her father. Like, man, what are you talking about?
That woman not a real friend.
And then if you're the type of friend that you say, she basically was saying that she does address her friends for things, then why was it so hard for you to say something to your friend about her weight? You went to your father instead. It was just a very weird story, and it was ego driven. It was just weird.
And y'all know how, I don't know who originally made the statement, but the information about how men names be saying a lot. And for her coming here, her name Queen Boss, I like, oh, this bitch about to be a problem. Cause who the fuck named themselves Queen Boss? Like, come on, be for real.
That's an important clock too. Queen Boss is crazy.
Oh Lord. But yeah, y'all motherfuckers who masking up and faking it, people can see it. People can fucking see it. And you end up looking foolish at the end of the day. Like, some not like, y'all gotta learn how to confront yourselves. I'm just gonna say that. And I'm gonna say y'all because I want to. I'm not gonna include myself in that. And y'all can, you can say whatever you want about it. But y'all niggas need to learn how to confront yourselves.
You the superior life.
I wait for somebody to call me out on my shit. Liz, did you want to address the topic? Because we keep getting away from the topic.
Yeah. Yeah. So they've like studied male brains and female brains, and they're they're negligibly different, really. And so the idea that like I hear men are wired differently. Like, us men are wired differently. No, you're not. You're literally not. It's just that like we are so heavily conditioned in different ways, and like there's so much of it is like subconscious. The more that I like unpack these things, the more I notice them, the more like just blatantly obvious they become. Like, the more I'm like, you wouldn't say that to me if I were a man, or like, a man wouldn't be treated that way. Like, and like all these things that I used to just accept, but all these things that we don't realize until we really do the work, that is all things that are conditioning us to keep repeating that cycle and keep like subconsciously treating women and girls so much differently than we treat men and boys. And that is all what's contributing to it, because we're not wired differently.
Yeah, the thing is, if you're doing studies on adults, like, it's going to be skewed, right? The only way to like truly to accurately to get a unbiased fucking a brain scan is to fucking look at the brain in utero before the gender is determined. Like, if we know that, like, we see these reinforcements of behaviors in fucking infancy, then yeah, you're gonna see some differences when you get older, because your brain, like, the neuron connections, like, they're going to develop a certain way based on the way you condition and based on the way you feel in the environment. So yeah, if I take a 30-year-old man and 30-year-old woman, it's going to look drastic differently. But we're not talking about how did we get here? And that's we get this misconception that like, oh, boys just they a little slower with girls when it comes to development. Like, why do you feel so comfortable saying that? And what is what? How does that impact how you going to interact with young boys?
Yeah.
I can see it now, too, with having a boy child and he has like a lot of girl cousins. I only have nieces. Even when they're playing around together, they are forcing the differences between him and my little girl cousins who are the same age as him. And my family is like, oh, Macari don't want to, he don't want to play over there with them with that cooking machine. He want to come over here. He want to come outside. He wanted, okay, well maybe the girls want to come outside too, and he wants to play with that cooking oven thing that they playing with because it's cool and it's interactive and it lights up and it makes noises. So yeah, he does want to play with that. But it's like at a young age they you can see them, especially if you're around little children, you can see them forcing those specific gender, I guess you call it gender roles on those children early on.
Yeah, because it's like, um, as an educator, like some like I said, like some girls tend to be more impulsive than boys. Some boys, like it's not a distinct, it's not a like a sharp line, and then it depends on the cohort. Like, yeah, this the interaction between these children gonna look different from maybe the cohort kids I have 2 years later, and it's like if it's so fucking distinct based on your gender, which is fucking crazy, then we should see no blurred lines. There should be no such thing as a male centered woman because women are a certain way. Like there should be like it's very small minded. And I don't know what the fuck KBK. I don't know what happened with KBK, but um like when you start looking at that, because you gotta understand, like when it comes to being intersex, that's more prevalent than people think. When you women what's that women who have had high testosterone levels, what the fuck is the name of that shit?
Endometriosis.
Not that, and there's another one too,
You said
but
PCOS?
PCOS or whatever. Like they're like it's not just women are like this and men are like this, and girls are like this and boys are like this. It exists on a fucking spectrum. And when you say, well, when you simplify it down to a binary, that's where you fucked up at. Because like there should be no differences then. There should be no differences. All the women should be exactly the same, and all the men should be exactly the same. And it's like it's very interesting how easily people want to just feel like it's a biology thing. And it's like, how can we work on that if we don't understand that it happens after the birth? But another reason I think people do that is because they don't want to be reflective. They don't want to work on it because it don't make sense. What are
That's
we telling somebody to do better for? We think that, oh, by biology you already fucked up. What you saying?
I was just agreeing. That's exactly it because it's like they will completely ignore the social constructs around gender and like take that there's some differences, biological differences, but that is not what most of this stuff is based around. So it's like you're being willfully ignorant to sit there and act like it is. It's absolutely not. A lot of this stuff with women cooking or women being more nice or just certain things, it's like that has nothing to do with biology at all. It's like what the hormonal part aspect of it is when we start going through our time of the month and things like that is biological. But there's like small differences as we start to grow up. But children, it's definitely forced upon them.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Anybody else want to say something before I end this shit? All right, we've been up here for like 2 hours, y'all. I'm gonna take a lab. Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for supporting. I hope y'all learned something. If y'all not following my backup is Alpha Line 56. There's a whole story why it's Alpha Line. We're not gonna get into it right now. I didn't even mean to go live on my main account, but if you're not following my backup, follow my backup. All right, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.